quick break. I just want to say thank you for all the people around the world, Jamaica, Germany, Asia, Europe, South America. Thank you for listening to Leap of Health. Thank you for the support. And remember, my book is out. You can find it on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you again for all the support. And now, back to our episode. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Alex Valgood, and this is Leap of Health. And today we have Omar Guttie. He is one of our guests for our 10-part series, Healing Through Cultivating Art. And this is going to be so excited. He's a fashion designer. He's a dancer. He's like an all over around artist. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you. And before we dive into all these healing and art and all that, tell us a little bit about you. And how do you come out to being this amazing artist?
Well, I was born in Managua, Nicaragua. That's in Central America. My mom migrated to the U.S. when I was about 7 years old. I joined her when I was about 12 years of age. And then since then, it was, trying to survive, new culture, new country, new language, new everything. Life in the U.S. and life in Nicaragua, it's very different. Everything is different. But obviously, Central America or Nicaragua is a poor country compared to the U.S. So there's a lot of there were a lot more options in the past in terms of the arts, sports, and opportunities overall. So I love anything that has to do with arts, whether it's dancing. I used to, before dance, I used to love to sing. I still like singing, and one of my goals or hopes was to go to Broadway.
Yay!
And there were cultural things that happened that stopped me from even trying to pursue that. Anyways, through college, a while in high school, my teachers pushed me to try dance, choir, which I did. I did varsity cheer. We competed all over the city. I tried show choir. Again, we also competed, and that's where my dancing comes in. I really loved it. And I took a sewing class. That's where I learned to took my first sewing lessons. And then from then I went to fashion school, where I graduated at the age of 18.
Love that. No, that's really good.
So after that, it was very difficult to find a job in the fashion industry. Lack of language. I was, again, 18. I went to Miami. I tried to work for Univision, which is a Spanish television. And in Miami, that's let's say the mecca back then of Spanish television actors in the US. So, as a Spanish speaking artist, that was the, I guess, sensible decision. But it didn't work out. I worked there as a parking lot security person to make ends meet. This was back in, after 9/11. So, security was a job that a lot of people were looking for, especially at a, airport. Anyways, after that, I came back to LA. I got a job working for Target. And then that's when I started taking lessons as a hobby, salsa lessons. And then from there, I just loved it. Because of my background of dance, since high school, I formed a team, and then I've been teaching for about 20 years, 20 plus years, as well as I've been doing costumes for teams and dancers in LA. Um, Also, I quit my day job in 2016. I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I made a crazy decision to change my life completely. And I just, put all my cards on making costumes for dancers, and it worked out, as well as teaching dance at city parks in
Hmm.
LA. Um, you know, so my mom used to say, "Well, art is not going to pay bills." So she was wrong. Art is what paid my bills, and it's paying my bills, and it's putting me through college, through university at this moment.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I love that you mentioned that. I think your mom, as my parents, my mom, she's a retired nurse. My dad was a chemical engineer. So they come from this like mentality of like art is kind of like for fun, but then you also have to have like a real job. And I think those things, it's important to understand that both can be the same thing, that both can be a job and they can also be fun. And I'm so happy that you're doing the schooling, you're about to finish the university, you've been teaching for a long time, you're making costumes, and you're actually making a livelihood of art. And it's pretty cool, because I feel like a lot of younger minds, or even people that are not as young, always, maybe they had a skill, maybe they were good at something, and they really never thought about like, no, I can't do that, I'm gonna be a starving artist or something like that. And I think it's important to know that you can live from art if that's what you want, and just like in any job, it's gonna take a little bit to get there, but then eventually what you will do it if that's what you really want. What do you
Yeah,
think?
well, there's a few things we have we have to keep in mind. For example, culture. There coming to the US was a culture shock, but living in, let's say, any type of third world country outside the US, art is not accessible. It is definitely not accessible, and is only accessible for those who can afford it.
Right.
So I after going through four, five, 4 plus years in school, I have, educated myself and learn and relearn and change my view and perspective. It wasn't my mom's fault. It's just she grew up with no options, with no opportunities.
That's true.
So how can she teach me something that she was not aware of? So that's a beautiful thing. And that's one of the things that I give thanks. Coming to the US, I took the opportunity.
Yeah.
The US has had and still has resources. And I'm saying had just because the art, it's not seen as essential, in the lives of the young, but it is very important. I was a very shy individual. I had that curiosity. Since I can remember, I was, I being creative, curious, and outspoken. However, all those three things in my culture, in a Latino society, predominantly Catholic, with out of date beliefs, creates many myths, and one of them is, oh, you cannot make money of the arts. And again, I understand where she comes from,
Hmm.
but coming to this country, that's just a myth. Uh, I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in doing good things, not just to make yourself feel better, but to spread that energy in the
Hmm.
world. And so, you know, this country has given me opportunities, and
Hmm.
I have taken them. And one of them is going back to school. And I am trying to graduate with a bachelor's degree so I can eventually teach Fashion design. Uh, I
Yeah.
went to school 20 plus years ago. I was young. I was not ready. Honestly, I was not ready. But then now I am. This is what I want to do. So, um, but yeah, I was treated differently because of, how I was not coming here. Um, my teachers were the ones that pushed me to try show, try choir, try cheerleading, try this, try that. I was actually forced to go into cheerleading. I asked my instructor if I could join her cheerleading class because I needed the P credits to graduate. I hated PE because I was bullied. So she's like, yeah, sure, sure. Once I was in there, she's like, now you have to cheer. I was like, oh God damn it, sorry.
Yeah.
And know what? I think that kind of forced me to be on stage, and I only loved it. It improved who I was. Again, I was shy. You have so much shame, so much negative thoughts. Coming. My mom left, and I was home. I was in my home country for 5 years. So you, as a child, living in five, six different homes, you go through so much negativity. So you bring this with you, and you go through so much abuse. um but I have overcome them through arts. One, because as I started teaching and dancing salsa, people would give you compliments, and then that boost your energy, boost your confidence. And I didn't like myself. I did not love myself. So I love myself now, but through the eyes of everybody else. So
Mm,
it was very beautiful to find the support in people that you didn't know.
mhm,
Through dance, they will be like, "Oh, I love how you dance." Yeah, yeah, this was what, 2005, and now I used to go to the clubs and dance with other males, which was very shocking most
mhm,
of most of most of the time. But I wasn't doing I was doing it because it just made me happy.
mhm,
So this then turned into a business that I enjoy, and that I could you know make money to pay my bills. But more importantly, again, I saw that I had talent, that I had worth, that I had value as an individual, regardless of my sexual orientation, religion, belief. I was a valuable human being. And then, so through that, I learned self-love, self-respect.
mhm,
So I'm at a point in my life that I'm doing things that make me happy. And again, thanks to the art. If I would have found dancing and the business of dancing, and through fashion design and rhinestoning, making everybody shine, um, I would have not been able to find myself.
mhm. I totally agree with you. I think something beautiful that any art brings to oneself is just these these very special moments that sometimes we cannot explain how they happen. You and me were dancers, and at some point we danced together, and I love that he was one of my partners for a quick second. And it's just so amazing what dancing can do for just one person. I think for me, I always say that dancing is like my meditation, because it brings me to that moment where nothing else matters. It's just me, the music, the dance, the connection. It doesn't matter if I'm looking all crazy or all funky or all funny. It doesn't really matter, because it's just that special feeling and the special moment that the dancing brings to me. Is that something that you experience too with the arts that you do?
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. So the approach is it's a little different. I've been dancing for 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't go with the same, I guess, desire when the first 5, 10 years of your life. The first 5 years, I remember going dancing 4 or 5, sometimes 5 days a week, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, when I go dance now, it's more like, okay, let me just go dance and just dance and let myself go. But yes, it's always amazing when when you find those dances where you lose yourself completely, and you
Mm-hmm.
do forget your troubles,
Yeah.
for a few minutes or for those few hours. If you're having a good night,
Yeah.
you just lose myself. In terms of myself specific, I love to follow. So when you lead,
Mm-hmm. It's a different
in
thing.
yeah, then you follow. Well, as a leader, you have the responsibility of somebody else. It's like a driver. You're driving the car, so you are responsible
Yeah.
for your follower. But when you follow, I believe that you truly just lose yourself. Obviously, I teach my students that there is an art to following. It's not just following and do whatever the hell you want. No, no, no. There is an art to that.
Yeah.
Just like leading, there is a beautiful art to
Mm-hmm.
that. So yes, when I follow, I honestly, it's like I levitate. I become a different person. Like almost unhuman.
Mm-hmm.
And I too, I love to follow. It just brings a joy that cannot be described,
Mm-hmm.
happiness that cannot be described and cannot be found anywhere else but when I am following.
Yeah, dancing. Yeah, for sure. I definitely share that feeling with you. I think for everybody that's listening and that have never done some sort of partner in dancing, definitely go ahead and try it. Where you're the follower or the leader, you do have these special moments as both of them. As Omar said, he is a leader and a follower. Me myself, when I teach too, I also do the leading and I also do the following. So it's two different things that you do and you experience. And really, to me, dance, like just any art in general, it almost feel like it doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have a specific, like this is for males, this is for females. Nothing like that. Like it's just the artist, right? It's the dancer. It's not like the female dancer or the male dancer, or whatever dancer. It's just you're just a dancer. You're just enjoying the music. You're becoming one with the music, with the feeling, with whoever you're sharing that moment with. If it's like some sort of partnering dance, because as we know, and as you know, I get down in the dance floor and I could just dance by myself and I don't care. And a lot of people that will see me sometimes on the dance floor will be like, "Are you really an instructor? Because you're going all crazy right now." And it was just kind of like funny moments that I'm just like, you know what? I just do whatever makes me feel good at that moment. Dancing doesn't have to look a certain way. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually, as a matter of fact, not perfect at all. It's whatever you're feeling and whatever you want, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love technique, so I'm always thinking, pull your feet out,
That's true.
lean forward, don't fall on your heels. When you do your turns, go up on releve. I'm sorry, my training comes in, from ballet, jazz. I used to do a little hip hop before salsa. I used to do a little hip hop, but it was awful. But I enjoy just being in the moment with everybody
Mhm.
else dancing and jumping. So I was not ashamed of taking, classes. But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes the best dance is when you're not even trying. You're
Yeah.
not even trying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just organically
Yes.
happens. It just happens. So yeah, I okay. I have to. I like to be honest. So I used to be a very uptight dancer. Don't listen. elbows here, elbows that. I love that. I love that craft. I love that, and I'm not gonna give it away. But I have learned many things, 20 plus years, and one of them is enjoy, have fun, and don't take the joy of the same experience, the same joy that I had when I was, 4 or 5 plus, years
Mm-hmm.
young dancing. Do not take away that joy to somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I used to be very, very uptight, and it's not fun to dance with an uptight dancers or dancers out there that are telling the girls, or how to do, turn this way, do this, do that. But yes, just letting yourself go, enjoying the moment, and um connecting, trying to dance with the person and not trying to force the person to do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
It's just a better experience if you just let it go and have fun.
Yeah. I love that. Do you think dancing has healed you in a deeper way now that
Oh,
you're an developed dancer in your career and your job and everything?
yes. So dance, its first dance was a hobby. Then dance turned into something that I had to do, like an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Then from an addiction, it turned into love, and then from long term into a business. So each, you know, uh, hobby, addiction, love,
Stage.
and
Yeah.
business, each of them teach you something differently. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and the one of the few things that have helped me is that don't take the joy of somebody else. Through the being so rigid, being so technique, finding just to connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
um Again, I used to be very, I've said this before, very, very shy. I'm still shy. People don't think I am,
Yeah.
but I have done 20, again, so many years teaching, and then being on stage kind of gives you more confidence, even though you're still shy in the inside. It gives you that confidence to step on stage and and present yourself. Dancing has healed me again. I used to not like myself, not love myself. I used to not love myself. I used to compare myself with everybody else. Why can you dance like that? Why can you look like that? Why can you do
Mm-hmm.
that turn? I like that handwork. Do this, do that. It sounds silly what I'm saying, but it goes deeper than that. Comparing
Yeah.
yourself to somebody else, wishing you had what somebody else had.
Mm-hmm.
That means you don't like yourself. You don't appreciate what you have, what you bring to the table. So all these four stages have taught me, one, that there is business for everybody. There's too many of us for us to be competing, or who's the best, or if somebody goes to some other designer or some other instructor, or if somebody else joins another team, like, I'm not gonna talk to him or her. That's really silly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say other words. That's dumb. That's stupid. That's
Yeah.
just dumb. There is business for everybody, and that's
Yeah.
something that I have learned. And again, why do I say that? Because, again, I used to compare myself to everybody else. I used to wish, I had the opportunities of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities come when you are ready for it. Opportunities come when somebody has maybe earned them. The universe will repay you. And opportunities come or go to people that perhaps they really need it more than you.
Yeah.
So I have learned to appreciate everyone else's art, everyone else's skills, and not, um, lower or try to demeanor them, to because when you do that, also you're unhappy with yourself. So I
Yes.
was unhappy with myself, so much that I had to criticize everybody else. Why? When somebody criticizes somebody else, is so that they can make themselves
Feel
feel
better.
better.
Mm-hmm.
you know, about themselves. So I'm still working on it, girl. Okay. But I'm trying to give compliments
Yeah.
because there is no need to be like, well, you need to work on your feet. You need to no, just give it positive. We all know what we need to work on, whether we're honest to ourselves or not. But when you're when you give somebody a compliment, you will make their day, and
Mhm.
and even much more, and even more, you could save their life, because you never know what that person could be going through. Um, you know, uh, I know suicide is a very sensitive
Mhm.
subject. As a gay man, and through a lot of problems that I've went through in my childhood, I've thought about that, you know, that many times. But dance has completely removed those thoughts out of my head. And yeah, I mean, dance saved me. Um,
Mhm.
I don't I don't think people know a lot about me, not because I don't share. I like to share, as you can see. I don't mind sharing. I feel like others can learn from from what you experience,
Mhm.
um, from you know from your own experiences. But I am pretty quiet. I am reserved, just because I was built that way, and that's where my shiny comes in. You know. But yes, dance has saved me, and I love dance, and I hope to keep, designing as well as teaching. And at some point, I will be older. I will be able to walk, and hopefully, my hands will be active and participate through dance, at least, making uh, costumes for dancers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're great. And I mean, you have so many, many, many years to come. And I'm sure you'll still be teaching and making costumes and everything. And it's just gonna be good. I think you are an amazing artist that really changed people's minds, changed people's perspective just because of who you are. And you're such an amazing person. And we will just say to all those people that are listening to us, and they're like, "Well, I've never danced. I think that might be like a little scary. I don't know if I'm a dancer." What do you say to all those people?
I mean, yes. So I've heard all the time, oh, I have two left feet. No, well, you actually have a left and a right. If you can walk, you can dance, all right?
Yes.
But what's always in their mind is looking like somebody else, or having the
Mhm.
skills of somebody else. That's not gonna happen in the first hour or the first month. Um, but it's dancing, just it just gives you a different feeling. So anybody looking for a different high, that gives you a,
That's true.
a, a high. Yeah. But I mean, I love to dance. I like to move my body. Sometimes what I want to say, my body does. So,
Mhm.
dancing is a different language. So whether you're looking for a challenge or not, people should just try it. And if people don't want to try it, that means that you're a little uptight, and you should just try it then. For
You
for
should
for
try
the sake
more.
of yeah, for the sake of, hey, do it. But I mean, I love movement. I interpret, what I feel, what I have in my mind through the movement, through the through the dance. You could meet people through dancing. You could, have a conversation without speaking through dance. You can
Mhm.
fall in love through dance. So hey, a lot of people, take join dance classes to meet somebody else. That can happen just through a dance without even saying one word.
Mhm.
So dance is a universal language. I know it sounds, you know, it's a saying that everyone says, but it is. You can communicate with somebody through dance.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be all weird
Mhm.
about it because you and me, we know that we have some of these amazing dances or just like a really good time with someone that that we don't even know their names. And then we're like, oh, that was cool. And that's it. Walked out of the dance floor and you go about your day. This is not something that you're like, oh my God, I don't want to dance. I don't want to, it might be weird to hold someone else's hands. I don't know. But I think, so much that you said, it's so great. Just go out there and try.
Yeah, I just love dancing. Every time you travel to a different country, you know what you commonly see everywhere is dance. So you know it. So trying something might connect you even more to a culture, to a place,
Mm-hmm.
to a person. So, and then yeah, actually, I think people will gain more respect by trying something.
Yes.
So people should open themselves up to dance and just have fun and let themselves go.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think it's important for everyone to try any type of art, whether it's dancing or painting or sewing or knitting something? Do you think it's important for them to try something like that?
Yes, it is very important. I went I went to high school, and if I would have not been exposed to art, and when I say art, I was exposed to again cheerleading,
Mm-hmm.
show choir. I was in choir, honor choir, show church choir. I was in musicals, so I was exposed to performing arts.
Mm-hmm.
The performing arts changed my perspective about life, about my future. It improved um when you join, whether it's anything, whether it's sports, performing arts, any curriculum ac- activity, helps you par- participate. So it makes you part of a community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it helps you communicate and deal with others, to work in teams.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you work harder. For example, it opens your possibility. It teaches skills that you are going to end up using
Mm-hmm.
your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I mean, dance is, to me, art is very um, special because it opens your mind, especially young minds. Um, Helps them develop social skills,
Mm-hmm.
communication skills, and art is a tool for many that everyone used to reintegrate themselves and engage with society. Because of art, because of what I was exposed to, I am where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I went back to school in 2019. I had to start from zero. So that means I have to do 5 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Most adults would be like, no, I'm not going back to university or school. That was a decision that I made. It was very important for me to get an education, to be able to become a much more well-rounded individual.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all everything that got me to this point is through the arts.
Mm-hmm.
So the arts is it should be important in kids. Um, I work at LA City Parks as a instructor. So I have young kids. Now city parks are pretty much parks in cities, and most likely it's areas that are underrepresented. and where many activities like performing arts, it's not found, it's not given, you know. So I teach ballet, cheerleading, gymnastics. um I am I take lessons so I can teach my kids, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how important it is for me. But I was given that opportunity because others were teaching that had no idea, that have never done any of those. So
Mm-hmm.
I took that, even though I have a lot of respect to dance. Um, I decided to take that just because I had more experience than
Mm-hmm.
those teaching those at that moment. So I feel very happy that I'm doing that, because I am providing an opportunity. I am providing not just I'm not expecting to be this amazing dancers, because I'm not, you know, those dances are not something that I'm a master of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what they're learning are those skills. They're learning to work on group, follow instructions.
Mm-hmm.
They're learning to communicate, to they're learning skills that they need in society, and for them to be successful. They're also learning that there are opportunities, there are things that they could try, and
Yeah.
that they can do it if they work hard. So
I
I'm glad that I'm taking
Mhm.
part of that, and I'm serving my community.
No, I think that's like super, super important. I've done interviews for this 10-part series already, and I think that's like one of the greatest point my guests have made. I think it's not just the art, it's not just for the fun, because you're gonna have fun eventually as you keep on doing any art, whether it's dancing, painting, sculpting, sewing, whatever it is, right? But I think it's really important that you touch the point of how art gets you, and it gives you and it teaches you these skills that are gonna serve you in a bigger way, in a way that we don't really are thinking about it, but that will change, or especially younger kids that are in junior high and high school, that still very young, and that they still haven't found a place in the world for them. I think art, as you just said it very well, it gives you those skills, and that will change you to be such an amazing person in the future. And I think it's so great, it's so important to point that out, and for people to understand that how arts are not just uh a hobby, that they can be way more, much more than that, to when in a life of someone it can really make a difference. I thank you for pointing that out. It's very important, and thank you for doing all these things that you're doing out there. I think it's great. I think more people should be um, given a little bit of their time to keep on shaping younger minds. Like those kids. So that was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think this conversation has been amazing. I think people will get a lot from it. If you're listening and you're gonna, for the first time, try something new, something artistic, dancing, singing, whatever it is, please do tag me on it. Send me a message. I think it's so great to build a community that wants to keep on learning, that wants to keep having all these experiences that otherwise you will not have without art. So I think it's just so amazing. So don't forget, and tagging me, send me a message. I will put some of the information for Omar, for whoever it's in the LA area. So if you have kids, or you want to join a team or a class or whatever, you can look him up. He's an amazing, amazing teacher, and I'll put all his information on the notes. Also, don't forget, you can look me up at alexbalgood.com. And don't forget to, my book is out. You can find it on Barnes and Noble and Amazon. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. And now that it's the holidays, it will be an amazing gift. And send me a message. I'll give you a discount code. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Omar, for being here. Is there anything you would like to say before we leave?
Well, thank you for having me. And just remember, love is love.
Yes, yes, for sure. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. And thank you, Omar. And everybody, have a blessed day. Thank you.